It's time for New Wellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Good day, everyone. As you know, we always have wonderful, exciting guests and wonderful, exciting shows. And I am so excited, so to the point we have greenery behind us, since we're going to be dealing with animal therapy.
Yes.
And animal therapy has been around for a good while. And a dear friend of mine, just want to say this quickly, deal a lot with PTSD with animal therapy. So we know it's used for so many things. And I am just so happy to have someone with so much knowledge in the field of animal therapy. This is truly amazing. So I just want to thank you so much.
Yes. So I'm Ruth Mellor, Ruth V. Mellor.
Yes. Thank you for being a guest. Thank you.
Love being with you.
Thank you. With yes. We were at a conference all weekend, so we're going to kind of jump in. We got a little late start, so I have something very exciting that I'm going to be doing on this show. So I want everybody to, don't leave. Call your friends.
Yes.
One of my phobias has been, everybody know me. I have a phobia to bugs and snakes and you name it, but not animals. But so today I'm going to have a snake put on my body. And we're doing this for a form of therapy as well, but also to help me with my phobia.
Yes. Fear release.
Fear release. And fear release is released on many levels as release fear. So this is one for me today, and that's going to have this wonderful snake that's on my guest right now is going to be on myself. So everybody will see it live. My daughter said, "Mom, I've got to see this."
You're so brave too. I'm so grateful that you're stepping into this because
as long as I don't keep looking at it, I think I'll do okay.
He looked away. He's like, "All right, I'll back off."
Okay, but I feel wonderful and safe. I watched you all weekend with so many people doing the therapy that it was just amazing, and I was so busy doing stroke screening.
Yes.
At the P.H.D conference that I didn't have a chance to have my treatment. So I said, let's do it live.
Yeah.
Let's do it live.
I love how you work.
Thank you. But I want to say what animal therapy has been around for a long time for different type of animals, for PTSD, seizure disorders. I even had one of my patients to purchase a dog for her hypertension.
Yeah.
And it really calmed and brought down her blood pressure. It's just amazing, and have that connection, that one-on-one with that love from the animal, because animals don't discriminate. They don't care if you had a bad day, bad hair day, or, they just don't care. They're going to love you anyway, unconditionally.
Yes.
Unconditionally. But they're so therapeutic as far as healing because of the oxytocin that's released from the body that helps you relax. And, when you're releasing these wonderful healing hormones and chemicals and transmitters in the body heals. It heals so much faster.
Oh, I love being on here with you. I don't even need to explain stuff.
No, because tell me about yourself and how did you get into this line of business?
Oh, so
it's not a business for you though.
Well, this is my life, and this is actually my business in a sense.
Okay.
Right? I travel around the world and I do this work. I own a ranch, 18 acres in Utah, but I do animal communication is how it began, and working with the mysteries, right?
Yes.
And I started seeing from when I was younger that I could connect with the animals, and they helped me through some pretty severe physical and emotional trauma in my life.
Yes.
From when I was little. And so what I started incorporating that in is first how they kind of taught me originally, and then I started learning more advanced ways through traveling the world and working with all kinds of top healer doctors, different things of how this really works in the body, not just the how do you explain this.
Yes.
So I started a long time ago, and the snakes have come in just the last couple years to really start doing work, and they help tons with that really great transition, which a lot of the times the fear is holding us back or causing the resistance.
Exactly.
So they help that body muscle memory, in a sense, the chemicals, to start remembering what that little piece is that's holding on in the body, whether it's a disease or whether it's a tight muscle, or whether it's a fear or a memory or stuff.
Yeah.
And then we help shift that.
Yeah,
so.
that's why I'm doing this today myself. Because one was the fear of snakes, and then the other is, I have fears sometimes of standing in front of large groups of people, and a little anxiety there, and I have a little anxiety to what the therapy I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
But I really take some deep breaths, and I know that all is well, and I'm going to be safe.
Yes.
And all those horror movies I've seen with snakes, I'm not taking that in.
Snakes on the plane, sure.
Yeah.
Made it difficult to ship snakes through the airport.
Yeah. But with all the conditions, and I love to see what it's doing for autistic children.
Ooh, very much.
It's just amazing. And, if you can cut down on all the medication, even pain, they find out with animal therapy, people in pain, it helped a lot with pain as well.
Yes.
So what have you seen since you've been doing this type of business services?
I utilize my horses also with equine therapy, the snakes. And what I have noticed is I've worked with different people where they've had different diseases in their bodies.
Right.
And as that acknowledgement of who they are and maybe where it comes from, and the animals help bring a dynamic where sometimes they don't have language, right? It's past the talk therapy, it's into experiential. And so they help that connection of a different type of language, which is an energy, body, movement, and release of that space. And they create a different type of support than just humans, because we have a lot of relationships that have hurt us or caused the fear or helped us have that resistance. And so the animals come in to support in another way. But we've worked with, there was a lady, the Taiwanese, she couldn't move her thumb, and arthritis, different things in there, and he literally worked it, and then we helped her move through some of that emotion, breathe through, not having to know exactly what it was from or where it came from. But as that energy moved and she breathed and allowed that process to happen and allowed her body, in a sense, to heal itself.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Without medication.
Exactly. And granted, sometimes it's super uncomfortable as we're going into that healing process of discovering. But the next day she came in, and with at the event, she was like, look, I can move my thumb and there's no more pain in it.
Oh,
and even, I'm even shocked with some of that stuff. I see it all the time, all over the world, just miracles after miracles with this holistic style.
Right, and there's been a lot of scientific research that's out now that actually show how a person heal.
Yeah.
Through animal therapy. There's been a lot of information out there. But to be up close and personal is totally different. As I'm doing today. So I'm just very excited that I'm having this wonderful opportunity.
Me too. When you said we're going to do it on the show, I was like, you're amazing. The fear of snakes and then the fear of being in front of large crowds, and you're going to combine them both.
Yes.
She's had no prep, by the way. No prep.
None. And actually, I have never even touched a snake.
Yeah.
In my entire life. So this
Do you mind if I introduce him?
Please.
Okay, so this is Voldemort. I have two snakes, but Voldemort, he's got a cute little goatee and mustache. He is about 6.5 feet long. So he is a big boy. He's only 5. He's a daddy. And he's been doing work with people of all levels, whether it's a chemical imbalance all the way to PTSD and really high energy. So being super scared, he knows how to regulate through that.
How wonderful. So PTSD, not PTSD, it's chemical dependency. Is this any type of chemical? Would it be crack cocaine or
Any type.
Or
So even last
opiates?
night, all of it.
Okay.
And that a lot of it. So we'll demonstrate with you a little bit, but they'll
Not that I use drugs.
right.
Okay.
No.
I'm just kidding.
but you'll be able to see kind of the process.
Right.
That wherever it's storing in the body, then that's where the energy will be moved or the stimulation, right? And so right now, like for me, he's literally massaging around my neck and my back, and I've been supporting a lot for the last week, right?
Yes.
So he's helping me move through both emotional and also re-stimulating on my back right now while we're speaking. So if it looks kind of crazy, he's actually working right now.
Well, actually, it doesn't look crazy at all.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Not at all. It's just kind of going down your arm. Maybe it might look a little. Yes.
But yeah, it's really neat.
It really is. So I just want to say that I want people to check this out. If a person, there's a couple people that I really, before you take off and leave, and that I really want to have this experience.
Excellent.
Because one, they can't seem to. One had a really severe car accident, and they can't seem to find out what is wrong. It's kind of taking them a long time to really find out what's wrong. And then there's another young man that I really would like.
That would be
for
great
you to see. So, to really see it happen like right away. I mean, I do certain type of therapies. I do always recommend the dogs is a pet because we know they're very good. I never really recommend a cat because their energy is a little bit different, even though some people say they're much more calm and relaxed with a cat. But with dogs, it's really different. And we know that with animals have been used for diagnostic tools as well.
Yes.
As a diagnostic tools. So the research is there showing how they can actually diagnose. I remember one of the TV shows had I don't remember which one, but they showed how their dog was able to sense when they were going to have a seizure.
Yes.
They can actually pick that up and they can sense that. So, to know that and to have an animal there, and, they can be trained to do some amazing things too.
Yes.
They can help save your life, to really save your life. So when you're about to have one, because usually you don't know unless you have an aura, you sense you smell something or you hear a sound or you see something, then you would know maybe I need to sit down. But a lot of people who have seizure disorders don't have that happen. But with a dog that's sensitive and trained for that, if they come to you, sit down, get yourself in a comfortable position so you don't fall and strike your head or something. So, from seizures to autistic children to fear, which I'm going to deal with today. There's so many conditions where pet therapy is good for.
Yes, very much so. And those are kind of those fun hidden pieces that they utilize their gifts and that energy to bring out what we're not aware of.
Right.
Or what maybe the machines can't test just right. Or things, because sometimes, I'm sure as you know, if you see something in a lot of case studies, it might be diagnosed as this, but in this specific patient, it could be completely different. And it could be linked to even mold in a house or something like that. And if it's not understood what is causing this, then you just keep kind of putting a Band-Aid on it. And that's where sometimes the animals come in to spot different things.
And, this could be a whole new trend. Since healthcare is where it is today and not very good, I would say, because I see the end results of people coming to my clinic, they've been misdiagnosed and wrong medication, and, people not even aware who have been treated for cancer, that a lot of the cancer therapies, the secondary treatment of a cancer therapy is cancer itself. That chemotherapy is a carcinogenic. So, in some cases, so you have to really pay attention to what a person is giving you And we have so many people I just spoke about hypertension, and for the calming effect, well, a lot of the hypertensive medications cause cancer. So
Yeah.
just think if you can ward off, even being on the medication, and get yourself in a calming position. Get a pet for pet
Right.
therapy. Now, I'm not saying everybody should run out and buy a snake. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, you'll
But
find the animal that kind of calls to you, and
yes.
they are literally calling to you, and that's part of your healing is trusting you and your feeling
Exactly.
and learning what your body is saying to you, even if it is a specific animal like a bird. Even there's so many dynamics that they're there to help.
A condition I think is really great to see them animals with is with people with dementia. And dementia is really amazing to see them work with dementia. I've seen a couple in the past, and also with Parkinson's.
Yes.
Parkinson's disease and animal therapy.
Yes.
It's just amazing. So if anyone listening, have, a loved one or just going through any of this, you might want to check into that. Give me a call at the clinic, and I'll put you in contact with this lovely guest I have today.
Love that. Yeah.
And let's, my thing is less medication, is possible, and let's heal naturally.
Yeah.
And have fun with it, because if you had a dog that's right there loving you, and you're going to feel that love, and you're going to start releasing chemicals in the body that's going to help you to heal even faster and feel great. It's such a feel good. That's why sometimes I like looking at little dog commercials, or not commercials, but little things about animals, because it's so soothing to see them do certain things and whatever.
It brings in a whole other dynamic that you can connect to that is not stress related. It's
not at all.
It's a way that you get to feel that bliss in a sense, or that play, or that fun, which brings life in to your body, which helps the stimulation and the cell activity in the blood and all of that igniting and bringing life and breath in.
Yes.
And it might bring up emotions, but that's because the emotions are ready to be released. They're part of what you've been pushing down, which gets stored in your body.
Exactly. So with animal therapy, or in general too, we can use it as form as a biofeedback as well. Wonderful biofeedback. And you can kind of see, okay, I didn't know that's what it was. But with biofeedback, with animal therapy, you can find it. And mindfulness. Mindfulness is so powerful. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know why I'm stuck here, and I don't know this, and I don't know that. But it's amazing how with animal therapy, you just pick this up. You can pick it up.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
and there's
amazing.
no pre-programmed agenda with the animals, like you were saying, right? They're here sensing and helping. They're not here to try to manipulate you to get to buy a drug or to get you to perform a certain way. They have no agenda other than connection and let's help you.
Yeah.
We know how to help ourselves. Like, how do we help you? In fact, a lot of the times it's us that get in the way of them helping themselves.
Yes. But in this case, it's just so wonderful. And I have a patient who has been in the military, and he had a really, really severe case of PTSD. Was placed on, with the VA hospital, 4 or 5 different medications, and then I encouraged him to obtain a dog, and it's a military dog or whatever, one of those, and so he's so much better. And the doctor said he did not need to be on, the doctor from the VA took him off most of his medication.
Yeah.
So for PTSD, actually seeing it up close and personal, even with his, and we talk about addiction, he had a very strong addiction to alcohol, and he is drinking less. He hasn't completely stopped, but he's not, just every day, 3 and 4 times a day.
Yeah.
He isn't doing that at all.
Right.
So he's doing like 100% better since he has his dog.
Yeah.
And it travels with him everywhere. Yeah.
It's really interesting because we have a tendency of finding ways to cope right? However that is. And in the coping, we're not allowing ourselves to see us and what really is going on to create the life because of the confusion in life, right? So whatever it is that's causing us to cope and disconnect from living fully, right? Because then you have to feel what's going on, so then you know what's going on, so then you can move out of it forward. And sometimes that feeling the pain or feeling the emotion of love or feeling the emotion that is making you go to a coping mechanism is a little intense sometimes. And so that's where I love the animals and me. I help support that transition like you, where you're helping support your patients through discovering what's working for you. How do we help you? You know, doc, this really hurts this time, and you get to know this is just that first stage, honey, and we can keep on going, right? It's okay. Or let's try something else.
And this is great for a person who cannot communicate. You know, for people who can't communicate, maybe is like an autistic child again, who cannot tell you everything, or a senior, doesn't necessarily have to be a senior with dementia or Alzheimer, who cannot communicate that to you. But if you're watching the animal with the person, you see a light over their face. You can see a sense of, of happiness and joy. You just see a connection.
Right.
So it isn't like this person is just a hopeless case.
No.
Not a hopeless case. And without a lot of medication that's just going to sedate a person, where they're just going to be just in a place by themselves all the time. Yeah. This is why they take a lot of the dogs to the cancer hospitals with the children. They see a lot of great things happening with the children in the cancer wards, the oncology departments. They see a lot happening with the children.
I love it because I was working with another doctor a while back, and she had mentioned our bodies don't know how to die. They know how to regenerate. They know how to move stuff. They know how to signal pieces to bring in support, whether it's for, extra blood flow or acknowledgement from the brain to help this. And it's us that whether we really want to step into life or not, and be numb to life or not. And sometimes that fear of not knowing if it's worth it or not, too, is part of that slow, what we call slow suicide, right?
Most definitely.
And it's fun for me to see people finally get that hope back. Like, whoa, I literally can breathe a little better, even though it might still ache. They have that knowledge that it's moving forward.
Yes.
And that hope, right?
And most definitely.
Like the puppy gives them happiness to live, right? Connect.
Yes. Now, how long is the therapy? Because, this is only less than an hour left of the show. And so how long is the therapy itself?
So it usually is about 10 to 20 minutes, but we can kind of, we won't go into some deep things. We'll kind of help move different stuff going on. Because what's really neat with you is you've already been working with so much of yourself and helping and being aware of you, that this is just one of those divine appointments you're meeting to find that hidden piece for this next level that you're playing in. Because you are playing into such a new edge evolution that you do need that extra little support. Like, oh, here, let's get this burr out of there, right?
Well, I've had many journeys, and I think you heard some of them this weekend, and a lot of my listening audience have heard, being in comas and different things, and and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I shouldn't say it that way, but the second coma of, traveling and having God minister to me for those 4 days, and sending me back saying your work isn't finished. It's a lot in between I'm leaving out, but the bottom line was I had to come back. So coming back, I've opened up to so many more new experiences within my practice itself, within myself,
Yes.
and working with people and with families it's also. So
Yes.
it's always an evolution of learning, growing, and moving forward because it's always something.
It's
And
incredible too.
always. And this is what life should be about.
Learning,
So,
experiencing.
those who are listening, please, take some time to know yourself a little bit better and get a pet, if you can, because people are living in places they can't have pets.
Mhm.
I'm not saying a snake again.
They're
And
easy
this
to take
is a
care of.
real snake over here. It is real. It's not
Yeah,
plastic.
he
It is real.
fully real. In
Yeah.
fact, he keeps.
What type of snake is this again?
So he's a red tail boa constrictor.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
Yeah.
about the red tail, but I knew it was a
Boa
boa constrictor. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I in what you're doing and really stepping into this new age and new edge, it is interesting because you're going in with this open heart of, okay, let's see what the new technology can be. Not just what it is,
Yes.
but that's where we're playing at. What can it be?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
What now that we know this about dementia and autism and MS
Exactly.
and cancer stuff, what can it be now?
Yeah.
And that's where this holistic side or trying new things that are now being presented that are actually old ways that are just
Yeah.
coming back in so that the new can combine with it for this time.
Right. But we do know, big pharma and money, on medication.
Oh, yeah.
But I really feel, like every hospital, we have major hospitals. We have UCLA, we have Cedars. I think they all should really have a department dealing with animal therapy. And to be quite frankly, I have not investigated to see if they do, but I think it would be great if every major hospital had a component there for animal therapy.
I agree.
I think it would be absolutely wonderful. And this would be across the board in every state, not just here in California. It'd be across the board to have some type of animal therapy included in their overall therapy. I think you and I should launch that.
I think that's a great idea because the success rate of integration, both even after like post rehab, I've worked with post rehab facilities for different addictions, youth and older, right? And the stabilization and integration back into society is so much higher and it's quicker, right? It's a quicker process and it really just helps them have a little bit more clear space to understand how they get to do that. How do
Exactly.
they get to support their bodies? How do they get to be authentic and show up?
Exactly.
So I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
So I'm not prolonging this
Okay.
interview so that I don't have the
He's
treatment.
starting to feel you, by the way. You can tell that it's getting close.
Okay.
He's been trying to move. He's like, it's time. She's
It's
ready.
time.
So
Yes,
when
I'm
you're
very
ready.
calm. My hands are not shaking, and I'm actually ready.
Yes,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So not all the animals want to do this work, just like not all the people want to be a doctor.
Right. Right.
And so he has specifically come here to be that support for the humans. And so, as far as like the normal things that might trigger a snake doesn't trigger him because he's got that extra love and compassion and ability to know what to do with
Now,
it.
how did you know that?
So with my part of my gifts is I get to connect in to see. So with him, all of my healing animals, and this is where you trust you, right? When you're getting an animal, this is where you trust you when that feeling comes. So I started feeling like, okay, I started noticing I was intrigued with another snake. I could tell I was getting another snake because I started looking up snakes and stuff. And then,
Okay.
interesting, that's when the synchronicities start hitting.
Right. Right.
And pay attention to those because that's the divine helping you out. That's
Yeah.
your higher self saying, okay, are you ready? Because we're showing you how to do this easily,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Without resistance. And so I started literally getting an ad on my phone popping up, and it was him. And so I was like, I guess we'll go look. And I talked to him, and I just so for me, it goes into a little bit further depth, and this doesn't have to be for you guys. Just feel your heart connect to him. And you don't have to know why, you just expand when you breathe and see him, right?
Okay.
But for him, I literally asked, okay, this is what I do. This is the scene you're going to have to be stepping into. It's going to get a little wild. Flights, traveling. And I heard him say, let's do it, right? And then I just helped him integrate that. So I'd go to like Walmart and stuff like that to slowly start seeing where he was at in working with people before I fully stepped into it.
And had him wrapped around someone's neck.
So it's just like, I've helped him establish his gift.
Mm-hmm. In God has put every animal, every person here for a reason.
Yes.
So animals were on this planet for a reason. They're all creation of God. And so this is what's, so powerful that, and they have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we have a purpose.
Yes.
And their purpose might be to, have more little animals, but not so much more little animals. But
right.
Yeah, I guess you can tell now I'm getting a little nervous. So
yeah. Or even like eggs for our food, right?
Exactly.
Or things like that.
But every animal has a purpose. So they were not divinely put here on this planet without a purpose. And I'm so happy that you are working with the animal from the animal kingdom, because you work with horses, snakes, and what else?
Dogs and cats and birds.
Okay.
Right now, currently, we just have the snakes, the horses, and the dogs and the cat.
Okay.
I've even had rats, because they all have different components. So
large rats.
Yeah. So rats are super intelligent, and they're actually a very compassionate animal that supports the family dynamic and also helping people move through that survival. Like, how can they recreate that passion in them?
Now the rats, where are they coming from? Because
pet stores.
Oh, pet stores. Okay.
Yeah, usually.
Or a hamster? Are you speaking of more of a hamster or a rat?
A rat.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like a rat. So we had a pet rat, and her name was Pop-Tart.
Okay, it would not be me.
You're like, I thought I was scared of snakes. I'm at a rat. So it's really interesting. We don't have them, but there's a cockatiel that travels around with a lady that goes all over the world, and she'll come into the events and different things like that. But primarily, the snakes and the horses do most of the work on my place.
Wonderful. So before we run out of time, I guess we better get started.
Here we go.
Hey, here I go, guys.
Here we go.
I'm going to have this wonderful therapy with a snake on my body.
So the first part, and I'll talk a little louder so that we can go is the snake is literally, we all have an energy field, right? You can tell when someone's too close to you, or you can tell when someone's agitated or whatever. And so we start first connecting in, and so he's literally been moving and kind of getting your body to start showing him where those pieces are.
Okay.
Where is that fear stored in you? Okay.
I really think I know, but I'm going to see.
I am sure you do know.
Yeah.
Because you'll feel it. And I feel it in you. It's just part of my loveliness.
And I don't mind telling it, because we'll see.
I'd love for you to share.
Yeah.
So this will help them, right?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is I would love for you to just kind of scoot back a little bit.
Okay.
And the key is to keep breathing. And any time that your body starts locking up, I want you to kind of move that, because those are pieces where we've been trained to stop that feeling.
Okay.
And get it controlled, right?
Okay.
And this is not the time to have it controlled. You just breathe through it.
Breathe through it.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's locked on, and he's going to start breathing and moving some more energy. Good. Can you hear him? Can you hear him puffing air out?
No.
Okay, good. That's
Maybe
all right.
because I hear my own.
So if you were completely unopen to this, he wouldn't be this close. Did you hear that?
Oh, yes, I did.
So he's moving parts of your body that's storing up the energy first. because he can tell that you're not quite ready to hold the whole weight of him yet.
Yes.
And so he's asking me to support also, so that
Okay.
you know, you don't take off and throw him.
Yeah. Don't want
Right?
to do that.
Good. Excellent. So now he's wanting to move and just caress you a little bit. Good. So he's moving down. So keep breathing through that area. There you go. So you have a whole line from your stomach all the way through your heart and into your throat a little bit. So I want you to keep breathing that. And I can explain if you want, but the experience is more so he's moving to your back. And so a lot of that means that some of this fear that's been built up for the release of your passion, or the stirring in the stomach, which affects the digestion and affects all of that, is partly because of the responsibilities you've had to take on in your life. And so he's moving energy of this area because of the back, the shoulders. Those are representations of strains in the body that hold on to be able to support people around you beyond what you necessarily need to do, right? Or the situations where you've had to really step into that support on your own, versus at which now it gets to look different, right?
Yes.
But it's a program that's still running.
Mm-hmm.
That the trauma that's happened, the experiences that have created this. And so now he's just moving in. So what are you experiencing right now through your body?
Well, I was feeling a tightness in my lumbar spine, but now it's gone.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
So now he's connecting it back to your heart.
And it's amazing you keep saying the heart, because I knew that was the energy point.
Yes. And so sometimes, as you know, we don't want to send the body right into re-trauma trigger,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to start stimulating it so that it releases. It's like when you have a massage, right? Sometimes if they go grinding right there, your body will literally lock it back up
Mm-hmm.
and over tense it beyond what it was. And so that's kind of how he's working also, is he checked it, he moved it, he started kind of breaking that energy up so you could feel it, so you could then check in with your body and start allowing that. And he went to the source of why, you know, this support area that had to be released, which you were more comfortable with, and then move it into the heart space, which is a deeper area of where this fear has been created and stored. And so he's just really sending that. You are doing so fabulous. So
And I
keep
feel
breathing.
it too.
Now he's moving it into your throat area so that you can be more clear about what your heart does need. What do you really want to do? How do you really want to show support? How do you really want to receive support, right? Because sometimes when we drop into those survival, any type of support is great, but it doesn't mean it's what we really need.
Exactly.
So that's where he's helping with that. So now he's going to start massaging it, the real muscles, because as this is happening, not only does the emotion happen and that pattern is being released, but he's finding the places in the muscles that are holding it the most, which is what causes the illness or the pain or the disease, right?
Right.
Because we have a tendency of utilizing one section of our body versus the other. And then so he's asking me to move to the other side. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. You're doing so fabulous.
And
by
I
the way.
feel lighter.
So keep breathing. Good. And again, it's really important. And this is something that you guys can know in your lives, that when you start feeling your body locking up, whether it's anger, whether it's crying or anything like that, if you can breathe through that and move the parts that are actually locking up, then that will help the blood flow. That will help the body know where to go versus storing that up. So what are you experiencing right now? What's he reaching and massaging right now?
Actually, in more of the descending colon,
Okay.
hmm which is not a problem there, but I had a problem relaxing. Like I said, my left hip area, and now it's
Okay,
just
so
totally
he
relaxed.
is down on your hip with his head.
hmm
You are amazing.
Yeah.
So I love that you are noticing and picking this up. So he's wanting to kind of create a little bit more grab, so I'm going to move so he can start grabbing you a little bit more through.
Okay. It is very relaxing.
You're doing so good. And so this is where we understand that our fear has been created from a past experience, but that doesn't mean it's what it has to be from now on.
Yes.
There you go. So how are you feeling? Describe where that grabbing is happening, what it feels like.
Well, it's like the left ventricle of my heart.
Mm.
And across my left shoulder. But it's releasing.
Very nice. And what are you experiencing in your hands? Because he's wanting you to start noticing your hands a little bit more.
Sweaty.
Okay. Excellent. So these are perfect signs of, one thing too is, as you probably know, the response in the body between fear and excitement are literally the same responses. It's just how we breathe with it and how we perceive it. And so the fear is the unknown. The excitement is, this is something I really want. And so as you start experiencing the fear of stuff, know that these are, in a sense, old, I want to say illusions, right? Because they're old stuff. And it's not you now. Every time we up level, every time we step into, yes, I want to experience this, the whole environment of you and your body and your experience is going to be completely different.
Yes.
And that's the unknown gets to be exciting, right? Of what can be next. How can I heal my body? How can I feel this in a different way? Is this excitement or is this fear, right? And by bringing in that breath, you can turn fear literally into excitement. So now he's connecting your heart and massaging your throat and around your neck. You are so brave. Very nice.
I know I'm brave.
Isn't he a gentleman, though?
But I just found out that through a dentist, that we're going to have on the show soon, that my trachea, esophagus, is becoming narrowed.
Wow.
And I just found this out 2 weeks ago. Yes.
So that's amazing. And we don't have to understand what's happening, right? Just like we don't always understand how electricity works. We just use it. We don't need to always understand how, food does it completely. But if you listen to your body and you breathe and you trust that dynamic, then it's going to support you however it needs to support you.
Yes.
So how are you doing?
Great.
How are we on time? 5 minutes? Great. So we're going to he just wants to sit here for just a second, and he really wants you to just feel some support and love coming into your body. And really breathe that all the way through all of the cells of your body, igniting and just really feeling the different chemicals to help it flow better and freer and lighter, even into the bones, breathing all of that energy in and new life. Again, not having to fully understand, but the good thing is you do get it.
Yes. And I feel it. I'm sure my voice sounds a little bit more relaxed as well.
You have a very lovely vibrance around you now. Okay, you good?
Yes.
So we're going to lift that off, and I want you to feel all of that weight that you've been experiencing in your life also lift off with him. Yes. Excellent.
Thank you.
And then he usually likes one last acknowledgement before he leaves.
Yes. Thank you so much for the healing. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you. That was wonderful. And I feel it. I feel so relaxed. You know, because sometimes I feel a heaviness in my heart, only because of things that are going on in my life that are touching to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
But now it feels so light.
Yeah, great.
I don't feel it.
It's so neat how that works, though.
Mm-hmm. And my back feels relaxed. My throat, much better. Yes,
Beautiful. And there you
yes.
go. There's your live directness with the brave doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me to go through this as well without, freaking out, running out of the studio. No, I didn't feel I was going to do that, but I almost felt I was going to throw it off.
Mm-hmm.
That was yesterday. And then I'm like, okay, no, everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to meditate and pray over this, and I'm going to feel great.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for
And
this
again,
experience.
You just checking in with you to say, is this really for me right now or not?
Yes.
Not just saying, I'm scared of snakes, no, or I love snakes, yes. You literally checked in with you. Is this for me? Is
Yes.
this now?
Yes. I did it. I can't wait to watch the show. So those of you who are watching us on iTunes and all these wonderful other locations, radio, please go to our YouTube channel, and it's new in you, Wellness TV with drlee.com, our YouTube channel, so you can actually see this show.
Yes.
Because it was amazing. It was amazing. The information is so powerful as well. And I'm just so grateful to be here.
Yeah.
I am so grateful to be here at UBN because, it's just been amazing. I thank Sarah Larson, who introduced me to UBN and to the staff. It's just been absolutely amazing. So I am grateful, and I want everyone to tune in next week as we have another exciting show.
I will
But
be. I'm a fan.
I am so grateful for your being here. And this is not going to be your first time.
Excellent.
Not going to be the first time. And we're going to talk about some other treatment plans and probably bring some other people
Beautiful.
that you have worked with. To
Yes.
let people know there's so many healing, integrative therapies that we can use, so you don't have to be sick, that you don't have to be that you don't have to suffer.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I feel amazing. For a grandmother of 10, and today I feel absolutely phenomenal. So I am just so happy and happy for this experience. And as I always say, we're about to end the show. But before we end, 30 seconds, if you can give 30 seconds, what would you, look into the eyes of the people there in the camera, what would you want them to leave with in 30 seconds or less?
I would love for you to leave with that ultimately when you start breathing and bringing breath into your body and you start checking in with you, whether it's an emotional need or a physical need or a food need, I want you to trust you, because that's what the gift has been given to us, is the ability to know our bodies, and every body is different.
Exactly.
And you might be that one unique piece that gets to help generations. And trust that.
Yeah, trust it. Don't sit on it.
Yeah.
I used to sit on the fact that I didn't know I had abilities as a medical intuitive here and there, and that was in my training that I found out. And I don't talk about it, and I'm still not really talking about it, but it's amazing how you pick up. And sometimes you see things and you hear these things that you need to really share with people. And you shouldn't hold back, because we all have gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Use your gifts, because God wants you to share that. It's something that might save their life for the day. You just don't know. Just a kind word that you might need to tell them something that they were, meditating and praying over. And here you gave them the answer. So don't hold back, because you're holding back a blessing for them and also a blessing for yourself, because it's a blessing in giving. So I just want to say thank you so much. And as I always end my show, I don't have my little badge on today, but please repeat after me. I am so grateful
So grateful
that I am
that I am
a magnet
a magnet
for miracles.
for miracles.
Everyone text me today and tell me your miracle today.
Yes.
We woke up, number one. That is truly a miracle. Text me your miracles today. And remember, visit our YouTube channel. New Wellness TV with Dr. Lee. If you happen to be listening to radio, because you want to actually see this show. Thank you again.
Thank
Have
you.
a blessed day.
Mwah.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for New Wellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.